And there we are. What's up, Internet?
I expected more fanfare when you did that.
Fireworks going off? Yeah, that's all right.
Let's see. Did you put it out on your feed yet?
It's already out there. It goes right there. Alec,
oh, there it is.
Alec, if you could get it out on the show Twitter and the main Twitter, we will get started here in just a minute.
See if I can do this, how quickly I can do it tonight.
You can
I'm
do
feeling
it.
it
You can do it. All right.
Draft. Go back.
Got a great interview coming up tonight with Cleveland's own Antonio Nieves. I'll be right back. 1 second. File on in.
What you just do? You leave us? Wow. Just
I know.
left.
I'll be right back. Okay.
And I am back.
Oh, there it is.
All right, guys, you ready to kick this show off?
Let's do it.
I am ready.
Beautiful. Let's hear from our sponsors to kick things off here. So the Big Play Reflog Cleveland show is brought to you by ShackNews.com. Shack News is your go-to for all gaming news. Covers all your gaming content needs, game guides, gaming interviews, a bunch of awesome original video content, Shack Chat, cool stuff over at Shack News. Head on over to ShackNews.com. Get into the conversation by clicking on the Shack News Twitter profile in our show title. Hit that follow button, because when it comes to gaming news, there is only one site to visit, ShackNews.com. Let's go. To the Big Play Cleveland Reflog Show. Today is Monday, June 3rd, 2019. I'm your host, Big Play Dave, alongside my main man, Mr. Chris McNeil. How are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you doing, Dave?
I am fantastic. Just got done coaching some baseball. The little Rugrats. Fun stuff.
Did you guys win?
We don't keep score.
Oh,
this is
Everyone's
2019.
Participant ribbons for everyone. Come on, Dave. How old are they?
They're 6.
Oh, come on.
They're just learning how to play. Bree, what's going on?
Hello.
Welcome back. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
3 in a row.
Hey. Digging the sweatshirt.
Thank you.
You should have texted me. We could have matched tonight.
That's right.
Oh, well. Hey, we got a great show tonight. So tonight on the Big Play Cleveland Reflog Show, Power Rank Monday, we're ranking our top 3 favorite summer activities. It is now June. We've made it. School's getting out. My kids have one more day going tomorrow. Not bad.
You still have school?
Dude.
I thought my kids got out late. That's amazing.
Dude, they go.
Yeah, my kids are done last week.
Yeah, they go tomorrow, and then they go back to school August 14th. Summer is over.
Toledo.
There's no summer, man. It's crazy.
2 months.
Wow.
What can you do? Hey, tonight on the show, we got Power Rank Monday. Featured interview with my buddy, former WBO, NABO champion of the world, Antonio Carita Nieves. Awesome dude. Fighting this Saturday here in Cleveland, Ohio. He will be joining momentarily on the Shack News Hotline. We'll then break down the latest Cleveland sports headlines. If you missed it, Gerald McCoy is not coming here. Might chat on that. Talk a little Joe Thomas. And hit you with a couple would you rathers. We'll give you our bold predictions for the week, and then we'll get out of here. Ooh, and guys, I have a new transition.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, wait, no, you're going to have to wait. Sorry. You're all going to have to wait. Okay. Let's go with Power Rank Monday. Here we go. It's time for Power Rank Monday. Power Rank Monday. Summer's here. It's June. A lot of people already kicked off the summer festivities. I pulled a McNeil and brought out the plastic pool. Wasn't as nice as your above ground pool, but we had it going on the deck. I had a Budweiser in hand. I felt very Parma. No offense, Parma.
Absolutely. Pink flamingos out there in the yard. Let's get it going. Summer is here, my friend.
That's right. So we are power ranking our 3 favorite summer activities. I will kick it off with my number 3. Speaking of Budweiser, drinking outside. There's nothing
good. It's that magical time of the year when your alcoholism goes from inside to outside.
Having that first beer outside when the sun's out, whether it's on the golf course or whatnot, man. Nothing like it. I'm going with my number 2. Already mentioned it. Coaching coach's pitch. Even though we don't keep score, because our kids are all winners, Chris.
Soft.
All winners. Nothing like it. I got a couple of Rugrats on the team who have a little trouble listening. If you're watching this show, you know who you are. Go to bed. It's a school night. Nothing like coaching, man. I love it. It's probably my favorite thing to do with my kids. Super fun. A couple of guys in the chat room. 33yo says his power rank number 3, not listening to Tony Rizzo. Number 2, not knowing Tony Rizzo. Number 1, not being Tony Rizzo. Good stuff there.
That's
all good activities.
There. That's good.
That's a round of applause.
And that's year round.
33yo, good one. And my number 1 is s'mores. Goes back to my drinking on the deck around the fire with the kiddos.
Good choice.
Nothing like a s'more, man. Nothing more summer than s'more.
A s'more and a beer?
S'more and a beer.
I don't eat them.
Okay, so you just give it to the kids.
I make them. They eat them.
The kids while you drink.
Yeah.
I just like the marshmallows.
Yeah, I never. If I do go with the s'more, I go no chocolate.
Marshmallow.
No
That's
chocolate.
a bold choice. That's a bold choice. I got to go with the whole sandwich, but I'm not. Here's a hot take. S'mores are overrated. I really think so. I'm not that big.
I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, they're okay.
They're
good
messy.
for kids. They're messy.
They're
kind of a pain in the
super
butt.
messy.
Super messy.
Yeah.
Way to shit
The
on my
squeeze
number
is
1.
not worth the juice on that one.
Chris, what's your 3 favorite summer activities?
Number 3, Gaga Ball.
Oh, boy.
I know Bree knows.
Here we go.
Dave, do you know what Gaga Ball is?
Is that something in the Longaburger?
No, it has very little to do with
Good
Longaburger.
guess.
No, it's
What is this?
It's a wooden octagon, right? That you get in, and it's basically dodgeball, but below the knee. You haven't seen this before? There's
No,
octagons,
never even heard of it.
Like churches, playgrounds, they're starting to creep up more and more. You're starting to see these things. And a couple of years ago, I think it was 2017, I was crowned the Gaga Ball champ for our Cub Scout summer camp out. It was pretty awesome. It's kind of a pinnacle of my sporting career. It was me against a bunch of 8-year-olds, and I took them all out. It was like 20 of them. It was
I
it
was
was
gonna
magical.
say,
Good work.
Yeah.
Chris just terrorizes the young kids with Gaga Ball.
Gaga Ball champ. Don't take that away from me. So that's my number 3 is Gaga Ball.
Love it.
Number 2, concerts, summer concerts, right?
Little Dave Matthews Band.
Down.
Dave Matthews Band, 96, 97. I'll never forget. I hit for the cycle on Dave Matthews. I went and saw him down in Riverbend. Then I saw him at Blossom, and I finished up at Polaris in Columbus. So I had all 3 of those under my belt for that particular summer. That's the summer of magic right there in the mid-'80s, me and Dave Matthews. But any concert during the summer, it's always a special time being outside and enjoying the tunes. So you guys like concerts during the summer?
Yeah, you going to any this summer?
As of right now, no. I'm kind of doing the old person version. We've got, like a Sunday evening pops thing that they do up here at Brindue, and they have other different bands in, and we'll go up to there. So it's kind of a nice little venue. But I don't have anything scheduled right now for concerts. I don't. Dave Matthews is only coming to, where is it, Riverbend or Blossom? I don't think they're coming to Polaris. So yeah, it's kind of scant around here.
What can you do?
You guys going to any concerts?
No,
Not my thing.
No,
Not
I
my thing.
have 4 kids. I'm not going anywhere.
Not
ever.
your thing. You don't like concerts, Bree? You don't like watching music?
The only thing that I like to do in crowds is watch a sporting event. Even that's questionable.
HTV, HD
Really?
TVs.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Chris, was that your number one
number
concert?
one-
Oh no, okay.
On my list is golf,
Good one.
which is pretty predictable. I know.
Shocker.
I
On
know it's
brand.
a good walk. Spoiled is golf, but I enjoy it. Was out there at the Memorial watching my man Matt Kuchar, who you heard right here on this show last week was going to win it. I watched him try and cheat and get eliminated. So God love that game. It lets me down every single time.
That's
Love that
right.
sport.
We will be talking golf in Cleveland headlines as well, so you can defend your boy there. Bree, what do you got? Top 3 summer activities.
Here we go, boys. Number 3. For all of you corporate workers, Summer Fridays. That is the day where you get to leave the office early. It could be a couple hours. It could be 1 hour. It could be noon. Or you could not be leaving early at all based on your workload. But hey, it's the thought that counts.
I like it. I'm with you there.
Yeah. It really makes the fall difficult. I'll tell you that.
That's fair.
Number 2. The annual Myrtle Beach vacation that when you go with kids is actually not really a vacation at all. And it pretty much is like being in Ohio at Myrtle Beach because everybody flocks down in the summer months to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, I go to Hilton Head, and that's the exact same thing. Half of Ohio
really
goes
is.
to Myrtle Beach, half of Ohio goes to Hilton Head.
Should be
Yeah.
seeing a lot more Browns fans this year. Has
That's
not
right.
been the case for the last
Is
couple
there
of
is there
years.
a good Browns backers bar at Myrtle Beach?
You know, I don't know that.
I bet you
I'm gonna
there
have
is.
to do some research. I'm sure there is.
Yeah, do some recon.
Probably
on
a
that.
transplant.
Definitely.
And number 1, not an activity per se. Maybe it's an activity. Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. All I can think of right now
You
is that
trumped my
meme of
s'mores.
that girl getting all those hot dogs in the face.
Thrown at her.
You know the meme that I'm talking about? Right
do.
now, that's the meme. Yep.
So
That should be
listen, I
playing
have
in
to ask you guys a question though. I know that it's a hot debate what you put on your hot dog. And I tweeted about this last week, but I actually didn't know that Bertman's Stadium Mustard was a Cleveland thing.
Really?
I was so naive growing up of only going to Indians games that I just thought it was a baseball thing. So here I am going to Detroit to watch Tigers versus Indians last year, and I sent my husband for a hot dog because it's my favorite thing to do at the baseball games. And I said, I need stadium mustard. He gets back. He hands me a pack of regular mustard. And I was like, this is not stadium mustard. What are you doing? I need the stadium mustard. Go back. Go ask them for some. And he was like, they don't have that here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
He has never heard of Bertman's.
No kidding.
Wow.
You need to get
Yeah.
like a holster to carry Bertman's around when you go traveling.
Apparently I do because that's the only way to eat a hot dog.
As hot dogs are just getting thrown in your face.
Yes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And that was Power Rank Monday. Let's move on. Ooh, now we get to do the transition that I've been talking about.
Boy.
Are you ready?
Can't wait.
Ready?
Okay. You guys probably won't even see it. That's okay, though. And
I'll see it in my mind. And it's magical.
because it is time for our featured interview of the night. My buddy, one of the best boxers in Cleveland, Ohio, Antonio Nieves, boxer, record 18-2-2, 10 knockouts, former WBO, NABO champion. Antonio, how we doing, my man?
I'm going good. How about you? How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Hello.
Congratulations on the house, by the way. I saw that on Twitter yesterday.
I appreciate that. Yeah, big step.
That's right. Moving on up, moving on out. All right, let's start off right off the bat here, Antonio. How does it feel to knock somebody out?
It feels great. You train for a whole fight, but you end it early. It feels great seeing somebody go to sleep in front of you.
Go to sleep in front of you. I love that expression. I love that expression.
Tony, how'd you get started in boxing?
I was into martial arts when I was about 7 years old. When I got a little older, when I turned about 12 or 13 years old, I'm like, I want to start getting my hands better, just to, be better at martial arts with it. And I went to an old school boxing gym and never left, never looked back.
I love it. I love it. That's a great gym. So, speaking of going back, my buddy, boxing manager Tim Van Nieuwhouse, shout out to Timmy Van. You guys have known each other for a really long time. I heard he can throw a pretty mean punch. So, who wins in a bout right now, you or Timmy Van?
I'm going to say me. I don't think Timmy Van can go past 3 minutes right now.
Oh, yes, that's what I was hoping you'd say.
Back in his prime time, it would have been a good scrap. Back in his prime.
I love it. I love it. So, hey, let's look around boxing for a sec. Chris, go ahead. Get you in here.
So, Anthony Joshua fell last weekend, first loss of his career. Where do you think he goes next?
I think they're going to try to get that rematch. I think they're going to try to get that rematch and get those belts back. He's going to try to make it seem like if it was a fluke.
He got knocked down 4 times. I don't know if that's a fluke.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying that's what they're going to say.
Could you believe that? I mean, this guy's been one of the most talked about boxing heavyweights for the last, 5 years. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Did you watch the fight, Antonio?
I did. Everybody was telling me, he's about to get knocked out. And I was like, the first thing I said is, listen, that might happen, but don't count this kid out, because just because he's not a fitness type person that looks very fit, he has fast hands for being a heavyweight, and he moves pretty good. I'm actually following him on Instagram, and you can see him moving his feet, and he got fast hands for being so heavy. So I'm like, don't count him out so quick, and look what he did.
It's incredible. Bree, get in here. Meet my buddy Tony.
Tony, great to talk to you. I was just curious. Is there anyone that you look up to in the boxing world and even outside of the boxing world?
Look up to? One person I look up to outside of the boxing world, well, he's actually my head trainer, is Joe Delgado, That guy inside the ring and out the ring is always teaching me some lessons, he's teaching me life lessons. He tells me he's showing me how to become a man outside in the business world. Overall, he's just a great person to have, And
that's awesome.
It just happens to be that he's my trainer as well.
Shout out Joe Delgado, my man. I love it. So, Antonio, MGM Northfield Park this weekend, Saturday, June 8th. Doors open at 7. Fight starts at 8. You versus Jose Rodriguez. How we feeling, my man?
I feel good. I'm ready, man. I'm just ready for the weigh-ins to come in. I can weigh in and lay down and wake up and get ready to fight, because it's going to be a special night, He's a former world champion. He's coming to fight, but I got things to prove,
You do, and prove them you will. When was your last fight?
I fought July last year in the casino in Columbus against former world champion, forgot his name.
You hit him so hard you forgot his name.
That's right. Doesn't matter what his name is.
I stopped him in the 4th round with a body shot. I don't know. Now to the next one.
Oh, I love it. When's the last time you... Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
For those of us that don't know boxing real well and aren't real familiar with what training looks like, take us through what your training regimen looks like for the fight this weekend. How long have you been training specifically for this one, and how do you ramp it up over the course of the last few months?
So I've been training hard training for about 8 or 9 weeks. I wake up about 5:30, 5:45 in the morning. I go for about a 4-mile run every day. I come home, I take a shower, I go to my day job at PNC Bank. I get out of that, I go to the gym. I'm there for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and go home and repeat the same day the next day. Eat clean vegetables and chicken or vegetables and fish. Very boring, but you gotta do. I gotta cut weight. And then now this week is more of just making sure that my weight's low. I'm just resting up and just timing and staying sharp. Get ready for the weigh-in and then get ready for the fight.
Now, you mentioned your day gig as well. You work at the bank. How do you compartmentalize being a beast in the ring and then going to a 9-to-5, going to work at the bank like you do?
It's second nature by now. My whole life, it was either school and sports. It was school, sports, work. So it's just second nature. My mind is already built that, it's something that we got to do to survive, and I just do it. I just get up, no excuses. I get up and run, and obviously I'm human. There's times that I get up and be like, I just want to go back to bed, but I just be like, get up, because if I sit down too long, it ain't gonna be too good.
That's inspiring to a slob like me, that even a professional athlete like you could say, hey, there's some days where I just don't want to do it either, and that's at the top level. That's great. And I think that's why you're so relatable, is because you have a 9-to-5. You're out there grinding like a lot of us and trying to chase your dream, and being a local guy like this. I think that's why so many people are inspired by your story.
It's just something that work hard. People say, that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. I actually had people before telling me, oh, you can't work in boxing and be successful with it. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna continue to prove you wrong, because I got a 9-to-5, and I fought for a world title, and I'm ranked in the top 15 in the world in 2 different sanction bodies. So it's like, all right, I guess you can't do it, but I can.
You ever had a day where you walk in where it's like Fight Club, where you discover you're like bloody or something and didn't even think of it when you're at work?
At work, I don't know. It's just. I just walk in and it's like, oh, here we go. Especially at the branch, at the neighborhood I work to. You get some people that they see the tie, they see the shirt, they see the hair cone, they're like, oh, you little punk. All right, I'm not the
one. That's good stuff.
Antonio,
you better Google me or something,
right?
You're not messing around.
You're gonna get knocked out.
Nobody's gonna be holding up that bank. They see you at your desk.
We're chatting with Antonio Nieves. Follow him on Twitter at Antonio Nieves 10. Antonio, let's flip scripts here real quick. Talk a little UFC. Our guy Stipe Miocic, he's got his fight coming up in August for the belt. Have you talked to Stipe recently? Have you seen him around the gym? And how's he looking? What are your prediction for that fight?
Look, man, he's gonna get his belt back. We train in the same gym, and we see each other every day. We talk every day, and he's just focused, man. He's ready to go. He's ready to bring that belt back to Cleveland where it belongs. That he's going to show that the first time was a mistake. It was anybody. And in the game that we're in, any little punch gets in, it could make a difference, But he's gonna get it back. So I know he is. I see him training. He's gonna bring that belt back where it belongs, to the city.
I love it. So a good amount of the Big Play crew is going to be in attendance this Saturday at Northfield Park, watching you knock the hell out of this guy. And I'm going to be the guy ringside yelling BigPlay.com. So that's going to be your cue to knock this guy out, all right?
I got that. I'm going to make sure I remember that.
All right, man.
I'm going to look at you and point and can tell you to say it so I can hit him with a left hook.
That's right. And I'm going to throw a Big Play snapback hat at you. You can wear it if you want right after.
That's right. Throw it. I'll wear it.
Love it.
There we go.
Antonio, everyone's rooting for you here in Cleveland, Ohio. We always have. You got a great story, a great career. You got big things coming up Saturday night. Where can everyone follow you on Instagram, on Twitter?
Twitter, Antonio Nieves 10. Instagram is Antonio_Nieves _216. The city.
That's right. That's right. And where can people buy tickets for this fight Saturday night, 7:00?
The WFC website, I believe it's like WFC.com, something like that. Or you could go on Facebook and follow them, and they have links for them. So
perfect.
Come see this knockout.
That's right. We will be in attendance. We'll be cheering you on, Antonio. We greatly appreciate the time. Keep up with the training, and we'll see you on Saturday for that knockout.
Good luck.
Hey, appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Absolutely, Antonio Nieves.
Nice.
Great stuff.
I'm inspired, man. That's good stuff.
He's such a good dude. He has such a good story.
Yeah. I mean, working the 9 to 5, then on top of that training to be at the top of his game, that's just cool stuff. You love to see that from a local guy, and I just hope for good things from that guy.
Yeah, so he had a fight against the top guy in the entire world, and that was, I want to say, about a year ago. And so that's when like Wall Street Journal was doing a bunch of articles on him and stuff. Obviously, it didn't go his way. He's probably pound for pound, probably the best fighter out there. But Antonio is a super good fighter. It's gonna be a lot of fun watching him on Saturday. So, good luck to you, my man. We'll talk on Twitter. Let's keep it going. Let's move on to some Cleveland headlines. So we had a couple headlines come in throughout the day. Chris, you were mentioning it. Joe Thomas and Tony Rizzo.
Tony Grossi.
Oh, Tony Grossi. Same thing. Whatever.
I know. I always mess up the two of them. Those two clowns.
So Joe Thomas puts Tony Grossi on blast,
Joe
right?
Thomas is. Yeah, he put him on blast a couple of times, apparently on his show, and then he also wrote a little article here that he posted on Twitter where he calls him out. He says he's basically asking the question, why does Grossi constantly harp on OBJ for not being there? And he lays out 5 points. So the first thing he says is there's no downside. Essentially, there's no downside for him in calling him out because anything that OBJ would do from now on plays right into that storyline of, oh, well, if he would have been there at OTAs, then we wouldn't have had this problem. If he drops a pass or doesn't seem in sync with Baker Mayfield, he can always say, well, of course, because he missed OTAs. So that was his first point.
Okay.
Second, he concedes that beat writers have a tough job, but he says, hey, they need a story every single day. And this is basically just filler. It's just fodder for him to put out there on a day in, day out basis. So that's why you see stories like this. And the third, it gives the writers something to talk to the coaches about, something to bring up in interviews, something that they can sink their teeth into when they go into the room and they're at a presser with the coaches. Number 4, OBJ stories sell, and he's absolutely right.
It's true.
I mean, he's the hottest player in the NFL right now, not just in Cleveland, but across the nation. People are interested to hear about this, so that's the reason Grossi goes after it. And then finally, he says, Mr. Grossi is from the old school of practice is always better. And we remember Joe there at the end of his career and his perspective on this, where he says, hey, listen, I'm a pro. I know, and being a pro, I've got to know my body. I've got to know its limitations. And I've also got to know what I need to be in peak condition for myself. And that's what I'm going to give you, whether it be missing some practice time. I'm going to have to do that so that I can regenerate my body. So I think that's basically what he's saying here is OBJ being a professional, he should know his body. And it's not necessarily true that practicing yourself to death, like you're the Junction Boys back in the day, isn't necessarily the way to get peak production out of people. And Grossi's missing the boat on that. So those are his points. I thought they were very well laid out, as Joe usually makes his arguments, very well thought out. And he goes right after him. So props to him. It'll be interesting to see what the clapback is. And I know between him and 850, it seems like they love to go back and forth. So this will just add to that rich tapestry.
Yeah, so I think Grossi's rebuttal was, if OTAs were so unimportant, Mr. Thomas, why did you elect to attend every year?
There we go.
Who cares? They're voluntary. Make them mandatory if you want everyone to show up. Like, if I'm making millions of dollars and I'm one of the best players in the world, I'm probably not going to go to a voluntary workout in May.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
You know who really needs OTAs? Terrell Pryor. You saw that he's going to OTAs. Yeah,
Wow.
he needs OTAs. So that's good. I don't even say that as a joke. I mean, a guy like that needs to fit in with the team. OBJ, hey, it would be nice to have him there. It would be really nice to have him there. I won't lie. But I'm not losing any sleep over the fact that he's not at these practices. The last thing we need is for somebody like that to get hurt. And I have much more fear as a Cleveland fan of someone getting hurt over the incremental potential he may get to get a little bit better through OTAs.
Best team in the nation on paper. Let's move on. Speaking of mandatory, the Browns' mandatory minicamp starts this week, so we are officially a little bit closer to real football. Mandatory minicamp begins June 4th. What is that, tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Wow. Crazy. Up until now, everything's been voluntary, as we talked about. Quite the ruckus lately. We won't even talk about it. Odell Beckham, they've beaten that to crap ad nauseum. Let's focus on how refreshing is this offseason. The biggest debates about our Browns this offseason are whether their all-world superstar wide receiver will be at a voluntary practice and what the uniforms are going to look like in 2 years. Like, these are our issues as a Browns fan.
No quarterback battles to be had.
Right? Yeah, we're not talking about Jake Delhomme taking too many reps from Colt McCoy. Like, I feel pretty
Just
good.
Hear you say that. Oh my God, I just threw up a little bit in my mouth, man. And we thought those were the good times. That's what we thought we were doing well. Ooh, brutal.
City built on hope. Chris, which players or positions are you most intrigued, looking forward to, mandatory practices where it starts to matter a little bit?
I think something that I'm going to be looking for all season long is what we do in the secondary. Really with Greedy Williams coming in here, how he does with Denzel Ward, how Ward in his second year, how well he's able to play, whether we can, and knock on wood, whether he could stay healthy. I'm really concerned. Once again, going back to being a Cleveland fan, I'm always kind of nervous about injuries. I'm concerned about his concussions. But on the upside, with those guys playing in tandem, I think it could be really special. And then from there, I got to look at the defensive line. You've got 3 new players up there. I really want to see what Sheldon Richardson, what Olivier Vernon, what those guys can do to add to what I think is going to be, one of the strongest defensive fronts in all of football this year. It goes from being a liability for us from times last year to one of strength. So those 2 positions I'm going to be very, very interested in.
Yeah, Bree, how about you? Mandatory minicamp.
I can't even believe Chris didn't mention a kicker at all in any of those statements.
Austin
The
Seibert.
kicking competition will be strong. I'm going to have to go with the linebacker room. I think that's a place that we felt like we had
I'm with
needs.
you.
Leading into the offseason with Kirksey coming back hopefully healthy. You had Schobert, who kind of struggled at the end of last year. And then we've got some rookies that we may need them to potentially step up and be a starter for us. So I think, to me, that's one place that I'm looking forward to seeing that growth, hopefully, and some of the new guys come in.
I love it. So speaking of, talking about depth, because we've got depth all over the place. Obviously, Gerald McCoy not coming here. He's going to the Panthers. We got a live call from our guy Nick Padone from our Big Play Cleveland group. Let's bring him in real quick. He wants to talk Gerald McCoy real quickly here. Big Play Nick, how we doing, my man?
Good. How are you guys?
We're fantastic. What do you got for us?
Good, as am I, man. Of course, a little bit bummed out to hear about the Gerald McCoy news, but I'm just happy it wasn't the Ravens. He has a lot of friends on the Baltimore Ravens. It sounded like the meeting was going really well, and obviously all three of his meetings went really well. We heard the Baltimore one was an A+++, whatever that means. But I'm glad it's not Baltimore. He's staying in the same division that he was comfortable in, but it's a little bit of a bummer that he's not on the Browns. That's
fair enough. I mean, you look at Twitter reporting is my favorite thing in the world because the Carolina Panthers were ruled out, yesterday or the day before? It was down to the Browns and the Panthers, or down to the Browns and the Ravens. So, yeah, keep them out of the division. I'm with you there. But, I mean, think about this. It's Gerald McCoy. He was on the Buccaneers, who gave up the second most points in the entire NFL last year. I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, and you get Sheldon Richardson, who is going to be, the solidified D tackle that will replace Trayvon Coley on that defensive line. And Sheldon Richardson played with the Minnesota Vikings, who at times looked like had one of the best defenses, especially rush defenses, run-stopping defenses in the whole National Football League. I don't really have the numbers in front of me on where the Vikings stood on that, but I think Sheldon Richardson is going to surprise a lot of people. He said it on the Building the Browns, which is the fantastic little documentary that the Browns do. He was looking for kind of a forever home. And I think, this front four with Myles Garrett and Olivier Vernon, Sheldon Richardson's going to have a lot of freedom up the middle with Larry Ogunjobi to increase his sack numbers and get some good stats against the run.
You listing all those names off, it still hasn't sunk in.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's our roster.
Football can't come soon enough. Nick, where can everyone follow you on Twitter, my man?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Nick Padone12. At Nick Padone is Pedone, and then the number 12.
Great stuff, man. Keep up the good work on the website. You're killing it.
Cool, absolutely. Love coming on the show. I hope to come on again soon.
Sounds good. Nick Padone, good stuff.
Yeah.
Little Gerald McCoy talk.
MLB draft update.
What?
Do we have MLB? The draft is going on right now. You don't have the music ready for the drop in? Here we go.
Hold on. Let me see if I have it. Hold on. No, I don't. I got this.
Oh. To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. I got to do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah? Yeah!
I put that in place of our draft show sound clip. Sorry. All right, what do you got for us?
With the 24th overall pick in the 2019 MLB draft, the Cleveland Indians select Daniel Espino, right-handed pitcher from Georgia Premier Academy. There you are, folks.
Very high on him all year. I graded him as an A-. do they televise this?
Yeah, I think on the Baseball Network, on MLB Network. I don't know.
I've never. Isn't it? How many rounds is it? I feel like
I don't even know what's happening.
The draft.
There's a draft in baseball.
Bree,
it's very
come
similar
on.
to the NHL or NFL draft.
I just meant tonight.
Baseball.
It's like they put on the NFL draft, and it's this huge thing.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Yeah.
I mean, it's the MLB draft. I didn't even know what was going on. Nobody's talked about it.
I feel like the reason for that is because no one watches college baseball or no one watches high school baseball, where a lot of these kids come from.
We don't see the crossover the same way you do with football.
Yeah.
No.
College like an immediate impact.
College football is huge, yeah. And then college football is huge. NFL is huge. Whereas college baseball is more regional. It's more regional. In the South, people love college baseball. You don't see it as much in the North. You really don't. Whereas in the North, you see more interest in Major League Baseball, and then in the East Coast. So there isn't the kind of crossover appeal that you get, in my opinion.
That's true. Let's keep these headlines going. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, first of all, this
you have a scouting report?
Yeah. They are saying, yes, and these are from my insiders, a.k.a. Twitter minions, are telling me this.
Which,
yes. They're hit or miss, but they're not bad.
There's some people,
gonna...
that really, really follow this stuff. So,
oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Hey, if you want to know about baseball, guys, you want to go to the dude who's living in his mother's basement, which is half the minions, and that's what these guys have got. And they're saying he's got the best stuff of anybody in the draft. Reportedly, he had a .32 ERA, and he can throw a ball at 100 miles an hour, so he can hit triple digits. So this guy's supposed to be really good. Really good.
Okay.
So,
and he's a starting pitcher.
Can he start now?
Yeah, they're saying he's a starter. He's a starter, and no, he can't start now. We can't bring him in. He also can't bat. He can't hit home runs, from what I could see.
Can he buy tickets so we can up our attendance?
Comparison, yes, exactly. Comparison is to Lance McCullers. Throws 100. Yeah, so.
Can he bring Bertman's mustard?
Maybe. There you go.
There we go.
He can replace Bauer or whoever else we get rid of in the offseason.
That's right. News_hose. Heyo.
Yeah, I have other breaking news.
Says, hey now, I live in my parents' basement, Chris. Leave me alone. Bree, what do you got for us? Breaking news. It's
not actually breaking, but I just had to bring it up that we didn't even talk about the other name that has not been at our voluntary OTAs is Duke Johnson. Apparently he is in the building.
Showed up. He's here.
Wow. There we go. Duke's a professional.
Back, baby.
Duke is a professional.
No, he's a professional who wants his money. He had to show up. Otherwise, you don't get paid.
I mean, yeah, do you blame him? No, come on. I mean, he's awesome.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Come on.
That's right. Keep getting that paycheck, Duke. Keep getting that paycheck. Let's keep it going.
With that. That's what we're all doing in life.
That's right. Speaking of guys who are going to have huge paychecks in the future, Baker Mayfield put on a youth football clinic this weekend. He was wearing a backwards hat, much to Chris's... You were saying something about him on Twitter. The most notable thing about this event is that it was put on at Mayfield High School. So, it's a slow sports time in Cleveland when we're talking about a youth football camp as a Cleveland headline. Cavs... not going to the playoffs anytime soon. Indians, no one's really watching right now. We haven't had a whole lot to talk about recently. We kind of got spoiled with LeBron taking us to the finals every year. The Tribe kind of playing above expectations in baseball. Guys, I got a question. The Cavs are obviously rebuilding. Indians are not trending in a very great direction. Bree, don't correct me. Social influence, positive influencer there. Which of those two teams, Cavs or Indians, do you think will be bringing back excitement to Cleveland first?
Whew.
You got to pick one.
Bree, you go first.
I'm going to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shocker right there. That's amazing.
Why?
I'm going to go with the Indians.
Wait, Bree. How do you go with the Cavs?
I don't know, Dave. It's a tough one, but we have a GM that's willing to spend.
Are you a Cavs social media influencer?
Yes.
She's trying to get on an in there.
That's exactly what it is. You've given up on the Indians, haven't you? Their social influencer program has dumped you. Is that what happened? Did you get spurred?
No. I'm still a fan. I'm still watching.
I noticed you're not influencing anyone anymore.
I am not.
She's influencing the Cavs. She's undercover.
I'm waiting for the Browns to call me. Call me.
There we go. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Chris, you're going with the Indians?
Yeah, why not? Come on.
Do you think they'll turn it around? Do you really?
We're right here. We're not too far from the wild card. I don't know. If anything's going to happen, I mean, the next few days are going to tell us a lot. These games this early in the season, we're just coming into June. Sure, they don't mean as much as they do later on in the season, but these start to really count when you're 11 and a half games out like we are right now. So if we make some noise against the Twins, people are going to jump right on board. We're finicky. We're fans. I'd love to see it. We have had, as we always say, we've had a lot of injuries. This season is no different. It's going to be an uphill climb, but this is the type of team we've got to start winning right now because we have to give the Dolans a reason to spend money and bring in talent. Because I'm scared right now, if we have a bad series with the Twins and then we follow it up with a few others, we are going to be sellers, and this season's going to be over by the time we host the All-Star game in July. That is a bad news.
Let's stop talking about the Cavs and the Indians. Let's go into Chris's wheelhouse. Patrick Cantlay won the Memorial Golf Tournament in Dublin over the weekend. We don't talk much golf on this show, but the tournament took place in Columbus. Chris was actually there, correct?
Yeah, I only went to Thursday this year, but I was there.
How was it?
It was great. First of all, shout out to my Uncle Barn. My Uncle Barn came into town from Chicago. He told me day one, this was on Thursday, that Patrick Cantlay was going to win this thing. I said, who is Patrick Cantlay? And I'm a pretty big golf fan myself. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had Hideki Matsuyama winning, and I also, of course, had Matt Kuchar winning. Those are my two that I was banking on. Matsuyama was up there, but certainly didn't get it done, and we all know what happened with Kuch. So it was bad, but I was out there on Thursday, and I'll tell you what, you guys haven't been to the Memorial
I
yet,
have not,
you?
no. But so tell me about this. So my brother was over today. He's a big golfer, and he was saying the Memorial is kind of like a party.
Oh, it's very much so a party. First of all,
like more so than other golfing events.
Yeah. And where it fits in with golf, a lot of people call it like the fifth major, sixth major. So it's a big golfing event on the golf course in terms of for the players. It's Jack's event, so the players are all geeked up for it. And then off the course with the fans are just, the Dublin area and the fans that come into this thing either A, think that they're actually going to be called in from the ropes to play in the tournament because they dress up. Half of them are out
you're
there
definitely talking about yourself right now, but go on.
Ricky Fowler cosplay all over the course. I mean, it's funny. And then the women are all dressed up for each other. I mean, you've got soccer moms just right and left on this course. They're looking to pick up one of the guys who are in cosplay, or if they're really lucky, picking up one of the PGA players. That's right. Bree knows what she's talking about over there.
Yeah, there's that bar over there too, or something. I know that's a big thing.
Oh yeah. Well, you got several there. You have the Bogey Inn, which is always it's off the course. They've got a new one though. This year that's off the 18th tee, and I tweeted about this. It's called Grey Goose. Grey Goose, the alcohol, the vodka. They have a Grey Goose landing up there, and it's right off the 18th tee. And I was there on Thursday, and people were getting so loaded up there and just yelling to the tee box. The players were turning around and just putting their arms out like, we're trying to play golf over here. It was like something out of Happy Gilmore. It was great. And by the time we left for the day, cops were called to the bar on the course there. That Grey Goose landing.
Wow.
I never, ever in my many years of going to the golf tournaments ever seen that. So I guarantee once Jack Nicklaus gets a whiff of that bar is probably not going to exist next year. It's probably going to be there's probably going to be a new bush there or something, and they're going to do away with it. But it was quite the scene out there. And it always is. People go out, they cut out of work early on Thursday and Friday, drink all day out there, and then God help you when you come in as one of the later groups there at 6 o'clock on one of those days because the crowd is good and lubed. But always a good time to be seen and just take in that entire atmosphere out there. So you guys got to make the trip sometime to Muirfield Village.
Chris, serious question for you. Did you wear your golf shoes?
Absolutely not. You do not wear your golf shoes. Everybody was telling me, oh, well, they're waterproof, so they're the best things on the course. No, you're not going to be asked to play at any point. There's no reason for you to wear golf shoes. Wear tennis shoes. Wear something nice. Do not wear golf shoes.
Have you ever worn golf shoes to an event?
I have not.
Okay.
The only tournaments I've ever worn golf shoes to, I've played in.
Wow. I like it. Good stuff. All right, let's get depressing again. Tribe's hovering around 500. Took 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox in Boston, including that miraculous late-inning comeback in that second game. Many people, including myself, were telling ourselves, this is the turning point of the season. This was the time to make the push before the All-Star break. And then we went to Chicago, lost 3 of 4 to the White Sox. Seems like every time they give fans kind of like this glimmer of hope, they just come back and just lay an egg. So it's time for our new favorite segment. Try to say something nice about the Indians. You guys failed miserably last week. Bree talked about the Browns. Chris talked about minor league. I think the Columbus Clippers. Bree, say something nice about the Cleveland Indians.
I will say something nice this week. Our rookie pitcher, Zach Plesac, had a wonderful showing against the Red Sox and yesterday we could not score any runs. So that is my nice thing, but also score some runs.
All right. Good enough. That's an improvement. Chris?
Yes.
Okay, a guy that they've got in Columbus right now, they need to call up. And they need to call up immediately.
No. You did this last week.
The best nickname.
All right, go ahead.
Well, yeah, but this is a different topic. Last week I was talking about different players. This time I'm talking about the assassin. Did I bring up the assassin last week? I may have.
I saw it on Twitter. There was an article. Yeah, there was an article on Big Play. Someone was saying you got to call up the assassin.
Yeah, Bobby Bradley. The guy is leading the league right now with 16 home runs. I mean, he is a complete beast. And let me tell you the backstory on why he's called the assassin. And this is why it's so great. So the social media guy, Matt, for the Columbus Clippers, went and got him in the locker room and was asking him, I guess at the beginning of the season, get to know the newer players.
Sure.
You get to know a little bit about them. You ask them some of their background. Well, he asked him, what is your nickname? And Bobby looked at him straight face and just said, the assassin. And he didn't ask any other questions. He just walked away and said, that is awesome. So now he is the assassin. And I cannot wait for him to get up to the big club because we're going to have all kinds of fun with the assassin. Leading the league with 16 home runs down in the minors. Indians, bring him up. Let's do it.
I like it.
All the help we can get.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. We've got our super fan, BigPlay.com writer, Jiggy, on the line. He wants to talk a little Tribe. He's probably the most optimistic Tribe guy, so let's bring him in. Jiggy, say something nice about the Cleveland Indians.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Fantastic.
Hello.
Yeah, so I totally agree, Dave. I'm probably the most optimistic guy, and I'm probably the most optimistic guy in the Slack group chat.
Okay.
It's funny because every single time I'll post like an optimistic thing, I'm trying to stay as positive as possible. I'll get like another big play writer being like, here's why the Indians suck and we're below 500. So trying to stay on top of that as much as I can.
It's pretty fair, yeah.
It's frustrating.
So what's going on? What do the Indians need to do?
I kind of touched on it in one of my articles today. I think I completely agree with Chris. I think we got to bring up Bobby.
There we go.
I know.
Bring up the assassin, baby. That's what we need. Ship around. Bring on.
I love the air.
Jiggy, who is this guy?
Yeah, 100%. And what's kind of crazy is, or I guess not what's kind of crazy. My dad and I were talking about this recently, and in the MLB, like these guys, like the management, all the hitting coaches, the managers, and everything, they all know really what these guys are all about, and they're not going to, bring a guy up just based on the notion that he's been hitting well recently. But I think with where the Indians are at right now, like, you got to explore all options.
Bring up the assassin.
That's true. Bring up the assassin. They really do. Jiggy,
Bring up the assassin.
Jimmy, yeah, go ahead, Bree.
We'll sell a lot of t-shirts if nothing else, right?
Hell yes.
Oh, 100%. Which I got to talk to you about this. We got to get some better T-shirts in the store.
Wow. Calling out Big Play Cody.
Calling you out.
Oh, man. All right. All right. We'll work on that.
No, my man. No, listen. There's a giant market that we're missing out on, and we have a lot of, like, funny people in our Slack group chat. So I think we have a lot of potential to put some, like, fire T-shirts out there.
All right, Jiggy, you step it up. You come up with some T-shirts, all right?
All right, my man. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, Jiggy. Big Play, Jiggy. Good stuff.
Take it easy.
That dude
I love
loves the Tribe.
How his big idea is Shirts
Yes.
in Cleveland.
You,
Like,
you,
I don't
you
know if
he's
you've
from
thought of this
Cleveland.
before. We could put witty things on shirts and people will buy them.
You know that dude's from Cleveland if he's talking about T-shirt designs.
Hey, since LeBron's left, that's our number one economy.
That's what we got. That's what we got. Checking in on the chat, Rye Gibbs says, talk about LeBron. I'll pass on that. Says, beer is good, and I think they serve that. And all right, I don't know what you're talking about. Good stuff. Thanks for the chats there. Let's see, where are we? We had some calls. That's probably I didn't say anything nice about the Tribe.
Yeah, you didn't. Come on. I put you on the spot.
Well, you guys didn't either last week, so I'm just going to pass. Let's move
Fine.
back to our brownies. So Cleveland Browns, we got a bunch of household names. Obviously, Odell Beckham, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett. A lot of guys everyone nationally knows.
Joseph.
Greg Joseph.
Never heard of those guys.
I like Greg Joseph. I think he's going to be our kicker this year, even though we drafted one, which usually is not a good sign for the Florida Atlantic guy, but I'm calling it. Greg Joseph. He's going to be our kicker.
All right. That's a hot take.
Little competition, never hurt anyone.
That's correct. That's correct. Just like our quarterback controversies of past, now we move on to kicking controversies.
That's right.
That's right. So we've got our guy, our associate producer, Nick, for the show, who does some writing for us on BigPlay.com. He's going through every single day a new bio on Browns players you might not be super familiar with. And this last one that he did was the guy we picked up from Chicago, Eric Kush. So
Kush.
Eric Cush's last name, obviously low-hanging fruit for some cheap jokes. To be blunt,
Always love those.
Eric
Always love
should
those.
be a solid reserve lineman for the Browns. Kush he's not going to get smoked by opposing pass rushers. When he's in the game, some of Cleveland's other linemen, they're a little bit green, so it'd probably be a good idea for them to become buds with Kush this offseason. Most of all, I'm very interested to see how he does at joint practices with the Colts this summer.
And why is that?
Did you get all those? You guys did. You guys got them all. On a more serious note, Kush has played in 33 NFL games in his career, started 12 of them. 7 of those starts came last season with a really, really good Chicago Bears team.
God, that doesn't sound right.
What do you mean?
A really good Chicago Bears team. That just didn't sound
Dude, the Bears and the Browns on the top of the food chain. So I don't know if, Chris, I don't know if we were talking about
rewind this like 10 years.
It doesn't make any
10 years
sense.
ago. Be like, the Indians and the Cubs are going to play for the World Series. And then a couple of years later, the Bears and the Browns are both going to be good. I'm like, what?
Right.
What is going on? Wow. That's incredible.
It is incredible. So, Chris, I think
Donald
last
Trump
week
as president looked rather pedestrian.
we were talking about the top bets for teams to win the Super Bowl. I think I was talking with you, and it was Browns, Chiefs, Rams. The number one was the Chicago Bears.
Oh my!
Wow.
Super weird, right?
I don't know what kind of a world we're in right now, but I don't know if I want to live in it. The Chicago Bears, man,
Crazy.
All right.
Yep. So go check out those articles from our guy Nick. Good stuff out there with the players you might not know on the Cleveland Browns. There's actually a couple I had no idea who they were. So I don't know what that says about me as a fan, but you probably didn't know them either.
Good stuff.
Good
Check it out.
stuff. All right, let's move on to Would You Rather real quickly. We will run through these super fast. All right, Bree, kick us off.
All right. Some long music there. All right,
Kinda
Dave.
long
So this
music,
one's for
yeah.
you.
All right, what do you got?
So we're going to go Cavs here. Now that the Cavs have their coach and know what pick they'll have in the draft, would you rather the Cavs be patient and build through the draft or try to speed the rebuild through free agency?
I was really, really wrong about this last time. So I didn't want the Cavs to trade for Kevin Love. I wanted to keep Andrew Wiggins, wanted to build kind of like the Thunder, go with that motto. Obviously, I was wrong. Andrew Wiggins isn't very good, but I thought he was going to be. So don't put much credence into this, but I will definitely go build through the draft. No rush. The Warriors seem to be kind of on the decline. They don't have a whole lot of depth, and that's kind of what we're waiting out. So keep building through the draft. We don't need to land any free agencies, any free agents. I'm good with that. Chris, I got one for you. Would you rather watch the Indians play offense or have Tony Grossi as your father?
Oh, God. Wow.
What?
I guess it'll be the Indians, watching the Indians play offense. It'll be a lot better once the assassin gets to town, though.
That's right.
Speaking of Indians, Bree, I've got a question for you. So
What's
the
up?
Indians are about to open up a set here at home against the Twins. We're now 11 and a half games back of the Twins. Would you rather this season see the Cleveland Indians overcome that 11.5 game hole and beat the Twins, end up first in the division, or would you rather have our Cleveland Browns win the division?
Oh, my gosh.
Easy.
I hate you guys.
Easy.
Both would be historic. That's a tough one right there.
The Browns.
Yeah.
Wow, you're giving up history. The Indians coming back against the Twins down 11 and a half games on June 3rd. You would rather have the Browns still winning the division.
Yeah.
All right. Stands by it. I'm
Matter of
wavering.
fact.
I'm wavering. Screw you, Indians. She doesn't care.
Oh, you were selling me out on live national air.
That's right. That's
I
right. I'm going to
love
send
it.
this directly to @Indians so they know
Right to the
Fine.
DM. Right
what
to
kind
the
of a
DM.
social influencer they have.
I resign.
That's right. All right, let's do some predictions.
Okay, do you need medical attention?
Yeah.
What is wrong?
I don't know. I ain't no goddamn doctor.
All right, so Alec, get on in here. Let us know. How did we do last week with our predictions? Give us the prediction and how we did.
I killed it.
All right, Dave, I'm going to start with you. Last week, you said that the Indians would win 4 games before our next show, which is right now. They only won 2. So you went after one of them.
They were on such a good streak, too, after they won that Boston game, too. Oh, all right. How'd Chris do? Do we even want to
Chris,
talk about him?
Matt Kuchar didn't even make the cut.
Kuchar.
So here's another shocker.
Kuchar.
Kuchar. He didn't even make the Give me a break. He didn't even make the cut. So here's a big shocker. You're wrong again.
Yeah, that one's a little rough. I was there, like I said, on Thursday. I saw him on 17. This made national news. He basically tried to cheat, too. Not only did he miss the cut, but he tried to cheat. He hit his shot on 17 off the tee, and it went into its own it didn't go into its own mark. It went into someone else's mark. And he tried to convince the rules official that it went into his mark because then he would have gotten a drop. And then when the rules official said, no, that's someone else's mark, he tried to convince the official that, no, actually it hit once and then went into someone else's mark, then back into my mark. And the rules official was just completely rolling his eyes. So not only did he not make the cut, he also tried to cheat. So Matt Kuchar did not have a very good week this week, unfortunately. So I was very, very wrong.
All right, Chris and I both wrong. Let's move on to Bree. She's always right.
Yeah, you were right. She is always right, and she was right again.
Woo!
The
Thank
Raptors
you.
did take game 1 against the Warriors in Toronto, 118-109, behind Pascal Siakam's 32 points. Dave, he went insane. 14 from 17 from the field.
Not bad. I didn't know who this guy was, but Siakam is like one of their better players in Toronto. Kind of pissed off they let that game go in game 2. Turned it off before they lost. Right, Bree?
I know.
Awful.
Yeah, me too.
Awful.
That fourth quarter defense was terrible.
The fourth quarter defense, the third quarter, they opened with and couldn't score for 8 minutes.
That's it.
It's so frustrating to watch.
Looney is out indefinitely with a broken collarbone, and Klay Thompson is questionable for Game 3.
When is Game 3? When is Game 3?
Wednesday,
Very
Friday.
All right, there we go. Good stuff.
Bree is on top of it. Man.
She's crushing us.
Watching the NBA. Woo.
I'm invested heavily into the Raptors right now.
Are you? Do you own any Raptors gear?
And do not.
Just curious. You big on Drake?
I like Kawhi.
Ah.
You know what I will say about
Do you
Drake,
like-
though?
do you like
He
Kawhi's
is doing
laugh?
some hardcore trolling that I truly appreciate as a Cleveland fan.
What is that noise?
Somebody just start up their bike?
Alec,
It was like a motorcycle outside.
well, get off the line, Alec.
Where the hell do you live, Alec?
Oh my gosh.
Alex trying to impress
I live in an apartment.
his new girlfriend. He bought a hog. He's like,
Oh,
That's the way he has to leave every
Spit out
Sunday.
my water.
that's right.
Alex leaving is that's going to have to be a soundbite every time he leaves.
That's
It's
right.
going to be
All right, now get off the line. All right, my
Fine.
prediction this week, I'm going with my guy, Antonio Nieves. He is going to win, I think, unanimous decision. I'm not going knockout. This Saturday night at MGM Northfield Park against Jose Rodriguez. This guy's a grizzled vet. He's a good fighter. I think unanimous decision. Antonio Carita Nieves. Chris, give us a bold prediction.
Okay, my prediction is by the next show, the Cleveland Indians will call up the assassin, Bobby Bradley. Because we need to see that. We need that in Cleveland right now. Indians, do the right thing. Call up the assassin.
There we go. Good stuff.
With a theme?
Bree.
I am also going to keep with a theme, and I am saying that the Raptors will steal a game on the road this week against the Warriors.
Wow. Care to say which game?
Oh, guys, don't make me pick a day. I'm on a roll here. But what I will say is that the series will be tied 2-2 heading back to Toronto next week.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah,
Oh, I was looking forward to 3-1.
as you should be.
Right.
That's only for Cleveland.
I
That's
hope
only
Golden State
Cleveland.
goes up 3-1. Go up 3-1, then have Toronto come back. Maybe that'll just break up the dynasty right there. I mean, they got everything going. Maybe that's what breaks up the karma, breaks up everything.
In-house
Would be
fighting.
3-1 for the second time.
That's right. It well could be. I am spent. How about you guys?
Very much so.
Same.
Fantastic show. See you guys next Monday. Shout out to Antonio. Go watch his fight. We'll see you next Monday. Appreciate it.